Well, what's on your mind, Dan? Anything bugging you?
Oh, what is it bugging? Beer prices are too high. Every bill you pay is too high. My phone's getting bombarded by 2 political parties I have nothing about. Everything else is swell.
I'm all for a third party.
Yeah.
I'm all for a party. Why do they call it a party? It's like they're a bunch of... Either, like the right wing is all kind of tight asses and the left wing's all a bunch of easily offended simps. You know, it's like neither one's a party.
You talk about offended. I don't know. I was playing around a couple weeks ago on Instagram and found a page called Karen's. It's just hundreds of videos of people going all full Karen and Kyle on others. It's pretty epic.
Have you seen the videos where the guys will take like and make a Karen screaming and make it like heavy metal?
Probably. Yeah, I think I have.
It is so cool.
They're out there.
There's no reason for people to be that way other than they're spoiled children.
I think it's some people just have mental health issues. I think some people aren't.
I don't think they're growing up. And
That too.
you could call it a mental health issue, but I just don't think they're growing up. And it's a childish reaction to something they want. And their outburst is very childish.
Right.
There's a lot of people that have not been properly smacked down, and I think that's a big part of the problem.
Yes, maybe some people just need an ass kicking. I mean, I hate to be...
Everyone needs an ass whooping. No,
you can't do that today.
Oh, you can.
Well,
we can and we should. That's the thing.
but we don't. Overall, most people aren't disciplined anymore.
No.
And then it has a long effect when they're adults.
Well, that word right there, discipline, has a negative connotation to it. And quite honestly, the legs of this table I've labeled with the pillars of stoicism. Temperance is basically discipline or self-discipline, you know. It's like and taking things in moderation. So that's a big one right there. I mean, just discipline is key. It's not something that we should be looked upon as like corporal punishment. It's not punishment. It's key. It really is key to I don't know, just to making yourself better, improving yourself, learning where you messed up, and it's just...
Some people cannot be disciplined. They also cannot take constructive criticism.
Well, it's because they haven't been smacked down properly.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if I smack you down, that's harsh. If I'm giving you constructive criticism, that's not harsh.
No.
There's a difference. I mean, you take the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and that becomes, the worst thing ever, right?
Right.
But think about people that go through real hell in their lives, that people that survive wars and stuff like that. They come back, a few words don't affect them. It just, that's nothing to them.
Right.
And the other thing is just, I'm sorry you're offended, but that is entirely on you. It has nothing to do with the person saying
Well, there's people out there who get triggered by the simplest of things. You just talked about someone's, say you're overseas in the military and you're down in the foxholes and you got bullets and bombs whizzing by your head. And you come back to your home country and you deal with people going crazy because they don't call you by the right pronouns. Don't get me started.
Oh no, let's hear it, Dan.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're here to talk about such things. Pronouns would be a fun one to tackle someday. Let's just talk about a couple of fun subjects that we can go into in the future, right? I mean, since we're not going to do a full podcast today, we're just gonna maybe tackle a few, or just go into like a few touchy subjects for people.
Kind of a teaser, yeah.
Yeah. So pronouns would be a fun one. It's like, to me, it's a game that a few individuals are playing amongst themselves.
And they're demanding everyone else to get involved, and most people won't participate.
And I honestly have never run into anyone who's ever demanded that of me. So what's the reality of it? So I think it's a sample size that's pretty small, or sample groups that are pretty small. And I was saying to you earlier, it's like, how fun would this be? You sat down in a restaurant, kind of like you were saying, and you were suspecting one to be a little bit edgy because you say ma'am or
Just
something like
excuse
that?
me, ma'am. I can have a couple extra napkins, and she.
Because you assumed.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to be in that scenario, and I would love to have a camera on this, and just
That's
act
been the
as
only-
if,
that's
what
been
the
the only-
hell are you talking about?
That's
And let them
been-
try
yeah.
to explain it to you, and just act like a clueless person, like what? And honestly, you could go right back to ancient philosophy, use a Socratic method on them, and try to find out exactly what they. Just act as if you know nothing, and let them try to explain it. And usually, they can't explain it. And
No, you see videos of people. You try to get them to explain it, and they go crazy. They start screaming and yelling and hitting things and throwing things, and it's like, hey, when I was a kid, I used to pretend I was in Star Wars.
yeah,
I love the movies, still love them.
I wanted to be a ninja.
Same type of thing. But you know what? You grow up and snap out of it. You leave pretend land and you get into reality.
I also want to be a dinosaur. I also want to be Godzilla. What else did I want to be?
I wanted to be a train.
A train?
Yeah, when I was like 4.
A powerful locomotive.
Coming around the mountain.
Yeah, that's another thing we're trying to affirm certain things with children. It's like, man, I want to be Spider-Man. I want to climb walls. I want to be Superman. I want to fly. I mean, how do you let a child be a child? And, it's like alcohol. We've got a legal drinking age, right? And even that, scientifically speaking, might actually be too young because our brains aren't fully developed until our mid-20s.
Well,
So-
it's me no secret. I have people my age who probably still shouldn't be drinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's really not for everyone. But some people sort that out earlier than others, and some people never learn. But
Well, that too.
But yeah,
extremes.
so I mean, the legal drinking age, and it varies from country to country too. In some countries, it's like as soon as that kid's up big enough to
Hit on a
come
bar
up to the
stool.
bar stool, they can have a beer.
You talk about the brains don't develop, but then you can suit up for the military of your country at 18 years old and go get forced into battle on the other side of the world and come back. But in a place like the U.S., you can't have a drink, but
Yeah.
you just spent a year in combat in Syria or wherever the case is, So from that standpoint, it doesn't
there's-
necessarily make sense.
Some areas, some regions like they know if they're military, they grant some leniency on that 18 to 21 kind of range, and that's to me is acceptable, right? And maybe that could be a good exception. It's like if you volunteer for the military and you're in there and you're not getting kicked out, obviously, but that should be allowed as a treat to them,
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be all for something like that. That's just good reasoning skills, I think. What other topics do you think are worthy of discussion? I think I did pull up like the fall of Rome and all the different things and it's a big topic that people are. Apparently, women are just baffled that men think about this. I don't know. Is it something you think about? It's like a historical aspect of Rome, and then the stages of things that we're going through here in the U.S. now.
Yeah, I mean, all empires rise, all empires fall.
And
It seems
Rome is one that's very well recorded. And I thought about that a long time ago. I had those thoughts. Like ancient Greece is similar to ancient Rome, the rise and fall, and they start out very disciplined and disciplined, and they become militarily strong, and they start conquering things. And they kind of the safe areas within the cities become more decadent, and and then you see things like just the I don't know. You see similar things to what we're going through here in society, and it might be worth it for me to kind of write some stuff down and get ideas around that put together. But a lot of people think we're similar to the end stages where we're trying to build a military based on with weak people, and we're seeing that in the media now, where they're just trying to make the military all gender fluid and all this stuff. Where it's like,
but
let's just get the right people to do the right job.
Everything's so divided by political parties. and by agendas, and sometimes by race and color and culture and what part of the country you live in. I mean, people will argue, I mean, even over sports teams, some people get a little bit too extreme. So I'm just saying that it's divided and subdivided over and over again, and it seems like it's just going to be getting more and more fragmented overall society. So does that spell a disaster long term? Maybe.
Well, technically we're connected to everybody all throughout the world, but our brains, our legacy hardware, trying to understand this new environment we're in. And typically, hold on, we're gonna pause now because we have a guest.
Who could that be?
Who could that be? We'll be right back.